From KUNC and the NPR network, this is In The NoCo. I'm Erin O'Toole. A new stage production in Longmont and Boulder is examining the displacement of Black residents. In the 1950s, thousands of Black families in Indianapolis were pushed out when their neighborhood was destroyed to make way for the expansion of a university. That area, known as Indiana Avenue, had been a thriving community with Black churches, Black-owned businesses, and newspapers. A new play, 13 Fires, is a historical drama that explores one family's experience. They live in a shack with cardboard partitions. A severe winter storm is coming in. They're worried about staying warm. 13 Fires premieres at the Longmont Theater Company tonight and at the Dairy Arts Center in Boulder starting Wednesday. Curtis K. Rogers wrote the play. He now lives in Boulder, but grew up in Indianapolis. Curtis, you were one of 5 siblings growing up in your household. You have talked about how, because you were adopted, you weren't around much Black culture growing up. Mm-hmm. How did that change when you were in your first theater production a few years ago?
Yeah. I'll say it like this. I was around Black culture, but I think I was viewing it through the lens of my parents, who I don't think they had a nuanced understanding of it. What I'm basically saying is we were kind of using white standards to look through the world.
Yeah.
So when I got involved in theater, and my mind began to widen to a more nuanced view of Black culture, and a deeper dive than just there was slavery, and then Dr. King came, and then it was all over.
Was there a specific moment that you started thinking about your hometown differently? Once you got started in this theater world?
Totally. One of the first plays that I was in, it was called Price of Progress, and that play was really telling the history of Indiana Avenue. And more than that, it was really taking you through what the neighborhood used to be like, okay? Like, there was music, it was dancing, and it really created this sense of, like, Indiana Avenue and in the heart of it, the soul of it. Mm-hmm. So to become aware of that history was totally eye-opening, and it really changed my relationship to the city.
So you finished writing your play, 13 Fires, in 2023.
Yes.
It also takes place in the Indiana Avenue community. Why did you choose that same subject?
I was a part of a playwriting course through Indie Blacklight Training and Development.
Okay.
Who was, I think, working in conjunction with IUPUI.
Okay, and that's Indiana University?
IUPUI is Indiana University, Purdue University.
So you were in a playwriting contest?
Yes, the playwriting contest with Indie Blacklight Training and Development. Mm-hmm. Part of this playwriting course was an initiative to uplift the story of Indiana Avenue and to educate people about it. The call was to do as much research as you can about Indiana Avenue, and then write a play about it. In my research, I just came across like so much information that I didn't know, and it was just like, man, like there was so much happening here and so much that could have been, right?
Yeah.
And it was a lot of tragedy and pain as well in the process of, what took place there.
And what is meaningful about the university's involvement in this?
I think the university, it's making amends. It's acknowledging we did harm. Mm-hmm. From my understanding, there came a point with the university where they decided that's not what we want to do. We want to acknowledge what occurred, and we want to do the right thing. So I think that is really meaningful.
Let's talk about the play a little bit. 13 Fires is about displacement. The plot revolves around one family with unstable housing during the winter. How has this family come to be in this situation?
The family was once a thriving pillar of the Indiana Avenue community. Our main character, Rochelle, is taking care of her parents and her 2 children, whose businesses have recently been shut down due to all of the changes. So her parents are no longer able to provide for themselves. So they've all had to kind of move into this little bitty shack.
An electrical fire rips through the poorly made home. This is based on a real-life incident. Why did you choose to elevate this tragedy versus others that happened during that time of displacement.
Yeah, the tragedy that we cover in 13 Fires did come from deep research. And you look at the numbers of people that were displaced, you look at the people who didn't have adequate housing, and that inadequate housing created long-term harm. When I read about that stuff, I was shocked. I was like, what? How does that happen? And in the research that I read, the amount of harm that was done in the amount of time from when the university really started to expanding and doing this housing project and displacing people into these shacks, this was like 2 years where it was like a lot of those houses created conditions where people were not safe, people were harmed, people lost lives. And just seeing those numbers in that research, I'm like, this is what needs to be talked about.
Originally, you hadn't planned to bring 13 Fires to Boulder. What changed your mind?
Yeah, a few things, but really just conversating with members of the community, hearing people's migration stories, their families' migration stories, and just hearing how the process of displacement happened in their communities too. So, I didn't think that what happened in Indian Avenue would translate here in Boulder. And then I'm talking to someone who's like, that same thing happened in Five Points. That's happening in Aurora right now.
Your play is being performed for the first time on Juneteenth in Longmont. Does that feel meaningful to you to see, this work on stage on that date?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. I try not to, what's the word? I try not to get too excited when stuff is happening in my life, and just try to stay pretty neutral. But no, it's totally meaningful. I mean, just Juneteenth in general and doing something on that day is always meaningful to me. But this play especially, I think that it really talks. You really get to experience community resilience. You get to experience just a day in the lives of a Black family at an incredibly difficult time. So I think that it's not only is it like a historical moment that we get to witness as we watch this performance, but there's so many through lines that are here today, right? So yeah, it's really meaningful to me.
Are you planning more shows in other communities? What is next for 13 Fires?
I think what this has really awoken in me is just a strong desire to create more theater. So there's conversation amongst myself and some other people on the production team about possibly making a Black theater company in Boulder. Now, I was thinking about that the other day, and I was like, you know what? Every city needs a Black theater company.
Totally.
At least one. So
why not? Yeah, bring it to Boulder. It's a lot of work, though.
It's a lot of work, for sure.
Curtis K. Rogers wrote and directed the new play 13 Fires. It premieres at the Longmont Theater Company tonight and will be performed at the Dairy Arts Center in Boulder next week. We'll have details in our show notes and at KUNC.org. That's it today for In The NoCo. I'm Erin O'Toole, wishing you a very happy Juneteenth. Thanks so much for listening.